Thumos, welcome back, guys. Hope you're having a phenomenal day. Today we're talking about your relationship, and I believe how to have the greatest relationship with a woman, with your family, that can go on to be something beautiful, that can go on to be something that will give your life meaning. I don't think that relationships should be something that you need game for. To be in a rock solid relationship, to not worry about your woman cheating, to not worry about your kids growing up to be imbeciles, to have a relationship where you feel like a man. Because I think in most relationships, a large percentage of relationships, the man doesn't feel like a man. He feels just like a partner. And you often hear that, my partner. It's a common bit of language these days some people use to not offend people. It's weird. It's not a partner. A relationship is a man and a woman. And if you want to have kids, you need a man, you need a woman. That's how you bear children. So there's no partner. There's man wedded to female to create children. So I like to look at this as the archetypes. You have your king, warrior, lover, and magician. Now, many of you have heard of these archetypes, but I don't think that we've ever looked at it in this sense of that these archetypes can make up the family. The king is God, the grand architect, the almighty, the powerful, the one. That's God. The man is the warrior. He is the protector, but not only of the physical body or the family, but he is the protector of the spirit for that family. He is the protector for the thought form that makes up and consumes the mind of the family. He's a protector of that spirit within the family. Then you have the lover, the woman, the childbearer, the nurturer, the caretaker. That's the lover. You have the child, the magician, the holy new life that is able to look out onto the world with childlike eyes, to put things together. This magician to discover and experience and go on adventure to experience life, from a young age. And so when you look at it within these archetypes, you see an order. You see the king, you see the warrior, you see the lover, and the magician. And it's within this structure, I believe, that we find the keys to a very good relationship. A relationship that doesn't take mind games. It's not a relationship where a man feels like he's not a man, where a man feels like his wife does not love him, where he has to be filled with worry and doubt. And so what I mean by this is that the king must be at the head. For a man to be without the king, without the father, he is left to himself. And his spirit and his character, his morality, his intentions, his mindset can very often become that of fear, panic, and demonic. And when I say demonic, I don't mean a demon as you would see in like some horror witchcraft movie. Demonic is the spirit, the thought form within your mind that is guiding your character and your actions throughout the world. Demonic is fear. Demonic mindset is shame and guilt. It is a negative self-image. It's a feeling of inadequacy. It's a feeling of victimhood. These are all demonic thought forms that can invade the space of a man's mind. And so if you take a man and you remove his eyes off of the king, off of God, it's very easy for other thought forms, other archetypes to make itself a place within that man's mind. And so further down the chain that you go, where a man is without God, what happens is the warrior is not able to protect the thought form of his wife and his children, of the lover and of the magician. And so they are influenced and corrupted by the demonic forces. And you see this a lot these days, and you see it very clearly with the lack of identity and the lack of trying to make everyone equal. Men and children, man and woman are not equal. we're different, and that's a good thing because we have our roles to play, and we have our strengths and we have our weaknesses. It's within this chain, though, this order, that a true relationship can blossom. And so it goes to say that a man should be the head of the family. A man, not because he's called, not because he chose the path, but because it is the natural destiny of man to lead a family, because he is stronger, because he is able to be the protector. He has that warrior archetype. So the man is the natural leader of the family, but many men choose not to lead. And so you've heard this before, you must lead your relationship. You must be a man and lead your woman, your child, and your family. But it's my opinion that men don't know how to lead unless they're connected to something higher, unless they keep their mind on things that are above and not below, that are not degenerate, that if you let yourself get filled with fear. And I think these days it's very easy for a man to turn to fear, for a man's heart to turn to fear. So we got to be on guard. It doesn't take a sort of game. It doesn't take weird tactics that you've heard online and people talking about. It doesn't take you driving a fancy car and having $1 million in your bank account. What you need to become is sort of the warrior that stands for something. If a warrior is alone, that stands for nothing, what is he? He's a mercenary. He's hired for contract. He doesn't stand for anything. He's just kind of going about trying to make odd jobs, right? The warrior stands for something. And so as a man, if we look at that warrior archetype within the man of the modern day, it's to say that you must stand for something. You have to protect some sort of kingdom, some sort of honor, some sort of characteristic. And where you derive that from, I believe, is from looking to the sacred, to the holy, to the grand architect. This is life. This is beauty. This is aesthetic. This is strength and power. This is the divine. And when you take a bit of that divine in your life, it goes down the chain. And the man feels that he has something to protect. He protects that sacredness, that holiness. And he doesn't let the demonic forces enter into that castle wall, into that congregation or community. That is the duty of a warrior. But in order to be a warrior and to be a man of the Most High, you have to feel connected, and you have to begin to stand for something. So that's what it is, man. That's what it is. Because we are the modern day warriors, and if you're not going to protect any sort of thought form or spirit within your family, then the spirit will just go down the chain. It'll corrupt the female. It'll corrupt the woman. Her heart will be filled with fear, led to anxiety, and so that will happen to the children. And the cycle will continue, and the family will fall apart. It'll be more easy to be manipulated. So it starts with us and our connection to God. And I truly believe that it's one of the reasons we see a lot of suffering and mental illnesses and depression and isolation, because we have all of these mercenaries out there and not these bonded warriors that stand for something, to protect the minds and the spirit of the community and the family. You've all seen a woman that just has admiration for their man, that has love, that you can clearly tell that she thinks that he is the man and she trusts him. And in a good relationship, what you'll see is a woman that is able to relax and calm down. And that snake no longer whispers in her ear, that snake of fear and anxiety, that worrisome. When she's around a man the warrior, the protector that is linked closely with the king, then she is able to feel a peace and a presence in her life. She is able to connect to that king-like energy through the warrior that guards the perimeter, that guards and protects the thought form of his family. And when the mother is not filled with fear or anxiety and doubt, when she is able to relax and be at peace, you see a sort of calmness that enters the child. The mother is able to nurture her child. The mother is able to love the child and not pass on the anxiety. And you see that the child is able to step into that magician where he's able to not be a tyrant princeling. He's not someone that needs to be filled with the fears and stuff to be able to go out into the world and be afraid. He doesn't have that because he stepped into this new life. He's given life. He's given permission to go on adventure, to discover, to create things, to try and to fail, and he feels the love from his parents and nurtured. And this is all stemming again from the king. And that's the magician, the young boy, and the cycle continues. And you see this story with Jesus. You have God, you have Joseph, you have Mary. And Joseph raises Jesus. Mary gives birth to Jesus. Joseph raises Jesus. He loves him. He teaches him carpentry. He shows him the way. Jesus sets out. He's connected with the king. He becomes a man. He's connected with the king. And he sets this example, and he unites the people. And so you see these archetypes in multiple stories. And I think it's very fascinating that we don't look at it. We don't look at this chain. And when things go wrong, we're not looking at a sort of severance from this holy chain. The best way I could put it, because when there's a link in the chain, the family suffers, and so does the world. So I know this has been a bit all over the place. It's a bit messy. These are some things that I've been thinking about. I'm probably going to try to flesh them out a bit more in some videos in the near future. So if you're interested in them, come join me. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know any questions you have, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.